Guys, what's up? My name is Lydia. Welcome to Burn Pilates. Today we're going to be doing a class using a yoga block. The yoga block is added on for a little bit of a step action, so you could also use maybe one step of a stair. It's also used for different arm exercises when we hold. The goal of using the yoga block is so that when you train, you have a prop to give you feedback. So you could always use, if you have from home instead of a yoga block, it could be a Pilates ball, it could be a child's playground ball, you could be holding a towel and pulling it apart. The goal is to give your body some extra feedback for some of our arm work. That being said, as we use it for some of the leg work, you'll always want to be the most safe. I'm wearing shoes today, so I feel personally the most stable. You could be barefoot, you'd be wearing socks, but the yoga block will be used for a little bit of a level increase in certain exercises. So if you don't feel safe, if it's made of foam, if it's not exactly dense enough for you to have ankle support, I don't suggest using it. You could use a stair, literally one little step from a stair instead, or don't use anything at all. You will still be working with the benefits of getting in the stability functional training. Set your mat up, grab some water to keep close by, and let's get right into class. Setting up without the block, bring your legs and open up into an external rotation, second position. Just making sure that your heels and toes have aligned up according to your hips. You never want to turn out more from your feet. You want to feel this rotation from the hips. As you bend your knees, check that the knees align up right over top of your heels. Open up your inner thighs. Right away, engage your glutes. Now, when I say open up your inner thighs from the glutes, you want to feel that you're not allowing for your knees to collapse, but rather you're pulling your body open. Check that your knees haven't started to rotate. Just make sure that you're set. Arms are going to come up. Reach your arms to the side. Breathe in and exhale as we bend. Take your thumbs all the way into the midline, palms to the floor. We're going to open up just like an offering position, stretch and bend. Like a grand plie, opening up through your body, finding your length, shoulders away from ears. Breathe in and exhale. Imagine your back is gliding up and down an imaginary wall. We're going to pick up the pace right here. Let's get a little bit more rhythmic. Lift up and down. If ever you need to go slower, if ever you need to listen a little bit more intentionally to what your body is telling you today, the whole goal is to customize with choice for where you're at today. So feel out your body. Let's go for 4 more. Down and up. Exhale, squeeze your glutes. Don't lose the length between your hips and ribs. Take your arms wide, bring your knees to the bend, and from here, change the angle of your pelvis. Pelvis goes back. If you want to open just a bit wider, feel that width come across not only your back with your arms stretched out, you're extending through your chest, neck is lengthened, shoulders away from ears, rib cage aligned with the hips. Take a full breath in, stretch your left leg out, bring your pinky fingers in, keep your palms up like offering position, and exhale, move through center, glutes on, deep breath in again, exhale. Keeping weight to the left toes as you stretch. Feel your left toes ground you more and more. You want your pinky toe especially to try to hold your leg in the floor. Exhale. Deep breath in to open, switching to the left. Push your right foot again into the ground. Your grounding just helps stretch. You're not just leaning where you're collapsing through your bones. Control your glutes to connect you into the movement. Ribs with hips. Inhale to open and exhale. From here, you're going to take your upper body with your hips, lift to vertical, and from here, tailbone sinks back. Exhale, squeeze, deep breath in to open. Feel how you're using the ground to press your heels down as if you're trying to split the floor. Upper body is expanding outwards as your obliques and transverse connect you to bring you upwards. Inhale, hold this bend through the legs, hips back, lower your arms right into a long arm plank position. Roll your shoulders up and back. We're going to do this 10 times. Breathe in, exhale, lift up, inhale, lower down. Like moving through water, we activate through the back. As you lower, you activate through the chest. Feel pushing up, feel pressing down. You should feel like your muscles start to tremble as you press more and more. And I'm not saying you're gonna get there today, but the more you can activate your body, the more you're gonna train to activate quicker and quicker so that your muscles have less and less break and they're working right away with excellent form. Last set of 2. The more you press down, the more you're gonna be able to work your back. You wanna feel that resistance right through your body. Stretch your arms out. And from here, come up, toe heel your way all the way in or walk in absolutely any way that you wish. Grab your yoga block. You're gonna take your block between your hands, shoulders roll down and back. Start with your heels and legs stacked, hip bone width and distance, somewhere mid-center your mat. Now bend your knees just light enough that you can feel that your hips aren't starting to jut out into an overly arched spine where your stomach's rounding forward. This means the lower abs have zilch going on. But equally, you're not tucked, rounding, trying to hide your anus. You're trying to keep your hip bones, sit bones, ribs, right in the alignment where the core can pull in. Lower down, touch your quads with your block, keep your arms even, and as you exhale, move slow, connect, shoulders down and back. Inhale. With your block, and this is the thing, if you're using a block, if you're using a ball, if you're using a towel, you want to activate into the resistance that the tool can provide you. So a block or a ball, you push in. This is going to give you more pecs, a little bit more lats. And if you had a towel, you'd be holding that towel shoulder width and distance, hopefully it's a hand towel, and you'd be pulling it apart. Because again, the tension of objects that we have from home and props aren't going to all be equal. So whatever you have, you can get benefits, but you have to use your brain a bit and think, how can I get a benefit from this? So if it's a towel, pull it apart. You'll feel where you're working that width across your shoulders. If you've got this block, keep your elbows in the most micro bend and keep pushing into that center. Try not to grab the block with your fingertips, but rather use your muscles all the way through the heels of your hands, palms of your hands. It's going to train your wrist strength, abs tight. Let's lower and lift a little more dynamically. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. You're not throwing the movement, you're stopping, stopping. Dynamic and tactile. Core is tight, spine is in neutral. Last 4, last 3, last 2, last 1. Take your block all the way into your right hand. From here, you're gonna step your left foot to the top of your mat, extend your right toes back, find your floor where you're in a lunge where your hips right away are square, your abs are pulled up and in, rib cage is closed and connected, shoulders roll them back and away from the ears and extend your neck out long. Feel the opposition right away of your arms reaching back like you're trying to touch the wall behind you. Check that your left knee is over top of your heel. You're pulling that left hip back now. Is your right butt loosey-goosey jello, or are you right away engaging it to help stretch the right hip? Take your arms up. Now notice my block. I'm holding it in my right hand to activate through my right tricep. What I want to make sure of is that I have my index finger towards one end of the block, so I'm using the rest and length of the block to stay supported on my forearms. Lower your arms down, frame your left thigh, exhale, lift. Now don't lose the width across your collarbones back, or also ribs. Exhale. The left arm is working with the right, and your palm is extended so your 5 fingers are stretched as wide as can be. Try to feel where the block is always staying attached into the forearm. Very often the wrist starts to break when we hold weights, and so the block is going to help train that forearm alignment. Let's go 4 more. Are you flexing that right glute? Or you're pulling your abs into that same connectivity that you would have if you're on your back, your rib cage is knitted, spine is in neutral. Obliques are stretching, but they're activating, keeping your body stretched. Take your arms down on your next breath out, hold. I want you to circle your arms up and around, both of them at the same time, stretching, reaching back, squeeze that right butt. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch directions. 8, 7. Feel yourself ground. Open up to the collarbones. Don't let your eyes get stuck locked at the screen or locked down looking at your toes. Stretch and find your posture for 2. last one. You're gonna come all the way up right away, shake it out, keep your block in your hands. From here, we're gonna go back into a little bit more stretch action, refine neutral, reset the hips, take your block in between your hands, open your legs into a second position in parallel. As you bend your right leg, you're gonna twist your upper body towards the right. We're gonna do this 4 times. You're bending your right knee, but you're still thinking of how the left leg is grounding through your pinky to big toe. Exhale as you twist, inhale through center. Leaning out, switching to the left. So just notice what's happening as you stretch the right thigh. Are you collapsing your right foot because you don't want to be? You want to feel that you're maintaining that arch support, so there's a lot of push into the floor. It's not just about reaching. If you reach your body away, you got to ground. We're going to go 4 to the right again. Exhale, twist, reach, reach, reach. Come back, back, back. Find the hips in center. Every time when you restack, shoulders down away from ears. Exhale. Exhale, twist one more time to the right, right away to the left. Feel what's happening in your body. You're stretching, opening up through your right hip flexor, also working for some abdominals and twisting work. We also get digestion. There's a lot going on. From here, come all the way up to center and walk your feet all the way in, hip bone width and distance, block into the left finger. Make sure you have your right foot forward, take your left toes back. Find right away that positioning where through the hip staying square, you're pulling your right hip back, flexing your left glute to elongate your neck. Now shoulders are away from ears, expand to your chest, feel your upper back work right away. If you don't feel your upper back working, your shoulders are probably slightly rounded. Your neck should be long. From here, we lower the arms, frame that right leg, exhale, lift, block, rests against that left forearm. Feel how you can connect through your left glute, flex it, flex it, flex it, so that you're stretching out through your hip. When one muscle flexes, another one extends, which is why I always talk about stretching out. The stretch doesn't mean passive. We're actively finding stretch as we hold. Deep breath in, the core stays in tight. Exhale, lift. 4. More slow. For 3. Rib cage knitted together. 2. And lift. Keep feeling where that block is resting on your forearm. Shoulders away from ears. Feel your arms stretch back. Imagine somebody's pulling your wrists long. Circle your arms up and around. Keep flexing to that left glute and feel where your stomach wall is again pulling up. It doesn't mean your back is responding. How can you pull your stomach wall up? By knitting your ribs together, by keeping your left glute supercharged, toes pushing down to the floor. Switch directions to your circles. 8. Exhale, 7. Keep gazing out longer and longer so you can continuously stretch your awareness. Exhale, last set of 4. Last set of 3, last set of 2, last 1, and smoothly come all the way up. Right away, block between your hands. Have your legs set up for a full stretch. Activate through your glutes, heels stacked under hips. Make sure you're not letting your spine arch out. Make sure, again, you're not tucking under. Neutral pelvis does not mean either or. It means you're connecting into your obliques and transverse. Collarbones wide. Push into the block or pull that towel apart, whatever you're using. Lift up. We're taking right away. Balance work, like tendon stretch on the machine. Calf raises right here. Lift, lower. Now, first things first. You never want to be releasing onto your heels where your toes come off the floor like this. I'm exaggerating. You don't want to be having any kind of position change where your knees have to bend when you lower your heels. So connect with your muscles in maintaining engagement all the way through, like you're staying taut in your body, because the more taut you are, I don't want to say tight, but the more taut and connected you are, the more dynamic you can get. So as you start to feel where your body is holding resistance, maybe you add that dynamic lift and lower a little bit more speedily, always concentrating on lowering down so that you're not allowing your weight to drop into your bones, but you're rather pushing down, finding that tension. Last 4, 3, 2, that should be heating up your calves. mega charged up. Release your block down to the floor. And from here, we're gonna take a calf stretch. You can, calf stretch. You can use a wall, you can use whatever feels good. I like to usually push my arms forward. And you should just feel where that left heel is down, that you're grounding it in parallel. If you don't feel the calf stretch, step further back, but make sure you're pushing an equal amount of distance through the left leg back and the right knee forward. Knees should never be over the top of the toes. Switch sides when you're ready. Also, quick tip, which is why I talk a lot about the butt. The glutes, once they engage, they help you engage through your hips in the right support that you want A, your core to work in, but also B, that you want to work anatomically in. So always check in almost with every exercise you do in life even. Did my butt work? Is my butt working? Where can I get my butt to engage me in the work? When you're ready, come all the way up and out of it. We're going to be taking the block for our first stability challenge, using it for the right foot. So what you want to do with your block is you want to have it set up where you have the length of it for your foot to fully be accommodated in a parallel. Your right foot's going to come onto the block. Your left toes are going to be stacked right underneath your hip bone. Your heel is going to be lifted, and this is the thing that you want to take note of. Because the block is giving a good little chunk of distance from the floor, you should be able to get with your heel high. I'm just going to give you a profile really quickly. You should be able to have the same calf lift, same tendon stretch that we just did through that left leg, but you don't want to have your butt out. You want to start as much as you can where you're keeping your torso completely vertical, using that neutral pelvis through your abdominal engagement. Shoulders are down and back. Now from here, you're going to take a full breath in. Arms wherever you need for stability. Keep your core engaged. And on your exhale, leave from the floor. Take your left leg up. Don't let your hips tuck. Keep your spine in neutral. Push your right foot into the block. Squeeze your glute. And smoothly, you're going to lower down like you're pushing down. Now, find the floor. Toes down. Heel stays up if you're using the block. Your foot will probably flatten all the way if you're simply using the floor. Exhale to lift. Squeeze the right butt. Check in that right butt is always doing a squeeze as you find that stability. Breathe in. Abs taut. Tailbone again staying in neutral. You're not lifting the knee for height. You're lifting the knee so that the abs have weight to them push down and away with resistance. So feel as soon as you start to alleviate the left toes from the floor that your abs are contracting. The right foot pushes down to help. Your glute squeezes to find that hip stability. Drop your left hip, take an inhale and exhale. Push down, find tension in your body. Imagine you're working through drying cement. Squeeze your glute underneath your hip. Lots of stability work and lots of work in finding the correct muscle engagement through not just the core, but through that right inside thigh, glute, hamstring, ankle support, tenfold work in balance. Last three, always find a connection where your left butt squeezes. Again, where can the butt squeeze to finish the movement, to start the movement, to finish the movement, also in the part where we stay, stabilize, hold, abs contract, and then abs and butt work together. The abs push down, the butt stabilizes. Lots of opposition. Again, if we're going down somewhere in the body, we're going up. Deep breath in. Woo. Last two. I know this is brutal and slow, but speed does not do this justice. And this is where you get more and more work in your practice, in your own body. And I guarantee you, if you're getting distracted, you're getting a little bit out of it. You find, oh, this is boring. You need this work. Hone in. Make the most simple of things the most interesting to you in the moment. Find that quality. Now, we're going to come out of this right away. Step your left foot away from your block. Take your right toes onto your block. Hinge your hips back. Right away, our transition arms are going to stay up as pull in. The left knee has a soft bend. Your hips on the softest Pilates tilt back. Lift your right leg up off the block. Lower down like you're moving through water. Find that block, touch it. Exhale to lift and stretch. And exhale, lower down, stretch. Same principles as working out on a reformer machine. You're on a spring setting, and the spring setting is where you feel that you're not swinging your leg, where you're able to push down through the inner thigh, through the right obliques, hips staying back, deep breath in, exhale, don't turn out through that right thigh. Keep your knee forward, stretch through your toes. Good. Feeling the slow range of motion, especially lifting at a timing that is very much progressive, but also finding full focus in your form, you're gonna get right away into deep muscle work. Go for 2 more, inhale and exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, stay. Inhale, exhale, 4, 3, push. Last time, deep breath in, stay. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, full breath in, abs tight. 4, 3, 2, 1, come down. Step right away off. Open your thighs up, chin to sternum, take a stretch. Little bend in the knees, head is heavy. If it feels good to walk from side to side, or to go into any variation of a stretch that feels good, do so, but don't lock your joints. You're gonna bend your knees, come to center, take a full breath in, and exhale, unravel. Come all the way up. We're gonna set up for the second side, so just making sure that you bring your block over, same parallel position for your left foot, making sure that you stabilize with the weight right away in your center, in your hip bone center. Right heel is high, left leg has a small bend in it, your torso is vertical, arms wherever you need to stabilize. Take a full breath in, exhale, slow lift, up. Start to push your left heel more and more down to the block, drop your hips, pull your core in, don't let that right hip hike up to your rib. Keep the space, even push your hip down if you need to remind yourself. You'll notice you can't lift as high. Breathe in, and from your abs you press down. Down, feel your core engage like you're moving through water. If you don't feel it engage, push down slower. Use a wall if you need to support yourself. Toes flex, butt is tight. Deep breath in, exhale. And each side is different, so take note. I know that my right hip likes to hike up, so I gotta keep my hands in a place where my brain goes, remember, keep that space. Ribs right away under hips. Ribs and hips are always in a relationship from the abs. So make sure you're not crunching in, tightening or shortening your torso. You don't want to round. You're trying to find the ultimate stretch. The block really helps this because you push your right toes down, you keep your heel up, you're able to feel more and more, I'm pushing down, I'm stretching. It should feel like you're working all the way through your obliques, all the way through your waistline. Flex your left glute. At the very top, find that stop. Press down. Deep breath in and exhale. See if you can contract from your core as you lift, like you're pushing your thigh against an object. And each side is different, which is why the single side work is humbling, because sometimes you feel massive, massive imbalances. Other days you might feel massive strength gains. This is why we train in this way here on Burn Pilates with lots of choice, because every day is different. Exhale. Find that connection, contraction. We're gonna go for 1 more rep. And I know it's brutal to make it slow and this controlled, but when you're working as hard as you should be on that slow to push down to the left foot, to squeeze the left glute, to use your abs to pull up, 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 tailbone is lengthened, ribs over hips, drop that left hip, drop that right hip, inhale, the more you're able to work in that way of going, how is everything going and functioning? The more you're gonna refine your technique and get better. Not just this, not just Pilates, but everything you do, your body's getting more supported for life, which is what we love to do here. You're gonna step away from that block with your right foot. Hips slightly back, left toes are just lightly on the block, arms up for support. Pilates tilt back to the hips, lift, up, find a stop and stay, lower down. 2, 3, 4, breathe in. If you're just a little far away or you need to adjust your body, notice proprioceptive Awareness is also different in knowing where you are in space. And exhale. Little bend into that right kneecap. You're stretching that left thigh away, and you're working for where? You're lifting and cranking the weight of your leg up through your glute, through your whole inner thigh, outer thigh, through your obliques. And then when you're pushing down, it's transverse pelvic floor that's helping support you with the right inner thigh and right glute. Exhale, and of course, that lower down, the more you're able to push into the exercise from your inner thigh, like you're moving your leg through molasses, or like there's a hook that's holding your leg up and you're pushing down against resistance here, like strap work, the more you're gonna get the muscles in your core to really functionally train with your glutes in a way that supports your hips, knees, ankles. And of course, then your spine. Exhale, lift, lift, stay. Find that focus and control for your last two. Ooh, exhale, don't worry if you don't get to the block. Different challenge, different side. And exhale. Take a full breath into the top and exhale. Lower down with control. And from here, step off your block. Walk your legs all the way up to the very, very top or back of your mat. Feet stacked underneath your hip bones, little bend in the knees, Pilates roll down. Give yourself a stretch, again without locking out your joints. And just give yourself a moment here to get as heavy as you can. And then when you're ready, you're gonna come all the way down, setting up right away with your block. Bring your block behind you. Take your right toes onto the block. You're gonna flex your left toes directly into the mat, but making sure that your knee is at a 90 degrees. Check that your knee is stacked literally underneath your hip bone. Now from here, if your right toes are on the floor, the move stays the same. All you're doing is lifting your left knee up and then lowering down, making sure that your chest is staying between your arms. You're activating between your lats and your chest and back to keep that collarbone width. Push the left toes down, but equally push your right toes down to the block. Exhale. Just a little lift. Tailbone is back. Sit bones are looking towards your right heel. Exhale and inhale for 3. Woo. Feel your core work and engage. We're gonna hold right here, the lift. Upper body right away in check. Palms open wide. Take a full breath in. On your exhale, you're gonna lift up. Push your left heel down to the floor. Keep your right heel high. Inhale to stay. Exhale, left knee bends. You can either come all the way down to the floor to modify or hover. Take a full breath in and exhale. Left heel pushing into the ground. Right heel stays lifted. Inhale. Exhale. Knee stacking under hip. Upper body right between the hands. Breathe in. Exhale, lift, lift, lift. Go for a last 2. This is all abs, arms, truthfully whole body. Try to get into that control. And as you stay here, you're gonna touch the left knee down for a last set of 8. Activate through the right toes into your block so you can feel that you're pushing down to help lift the left knee up. Exhale for 4, last 3, last 2. Take your left knee down. Relax your toes, walk your left elbow to the floor, reach your right arm forward, and extend your right leg all the way up. Let's point the toes. You're gonna take your right leg, lower down to the block or floor, whichever you find first. And then when you lift, I want you to feel where you're extending through your right hip, squeezing your right glute. Just stretch your leg out. Don't sway into that left hip or kneecap. Deep breath in, you're pushing down and equally pressing up. Abs are engaged. Don't flare your ribs. Last set here of 2. Neck is long. Last 1. Exhale, flex your foot. From here, lift up small, catching the weight, squeezing as much as you can to garner that hold at the top a little longer than the release. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your knee down smoothly, any way that feels good. Just stretch it out. Breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. When you're ready, walk your hands in towards your knees. We're going to set up for the second side. So just making sure that you do, again, have that block for support. You're going to be setting up, left toes into the block, hands are wide, and right knee is stacked directly under your hip. Once you're there, breathe in, neutral pelvis, neutral spine, exhale, lift. We're going right away into this opposition. As the right leg lifts, the left toes push down. So you should feel that you're pushing down to the left toes in your grounder block, whichever you're using, to help lift your right knee up, using your obliques to bring your hips completely parallel next to each other. Exhale. Lats engaged. Small bend through your elbows, neck is stretched out. Inhale to lower. Exhale. We're using inner thigh, abs, glute. Oof. All the muscles to the hips. Exhale. Go for a last set here of 3. All the muscles to the backs and arms. Get your palms, and especially your fingers, to cup into the floor. Take a full breath in, and exhale. Press your right heel back. Keep your left heel high. Breathe in. If you want to have your knee come all the way down to the ground, you can. Otherwise, you can hover. Make sure you're not rounding through your upper back. And then exhale. Press to the floor, stretching through your triceps. Right heel pushes into the floor. Breathe in as you start to unravel your spine. Tailbone back, neutral pelvis. Check in with that left leg. Are you squeezing the glute? Are you pushing your toes into your block, grounding? Exhale. Inhale. Send energy into your sit bones. We're going to our last one here. Belly button pulls up, left hip pulls back, right heel pushes down. Smoothly come all the way back into your start position, and 8 times deep breath in. We tap down, press the block. 6, tighten up to that left glute. For 4, 3, last set of 2, last 1. Inhale, exhale, take your knee down. Try not to panic through the exercise change, meaning don't collapse. Right forearm lowers, left arm stretches out. You're gonna reach all the way up from that block, left leg, send it long. Contract into your glutes, stretch your left hip. Rib cage is closed in. Lower down like you're moving through water. Lift, 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 squeeze. Whatever you touch first, if it's block or floor. Feel the difference here as we do our second side. Notice what's changed. Are your hips staying square to the floor? Are your ribs staying knitted together? I always want to say nibs. When I say ribs knitted together, are they nibbed? Deep breath in, pushing down, but pressing up. Go for a last one here. Don't sway into that right leg. Exhale, flex your foot, and from here, small let goes and stretches out and back. You're contracting through the glute to get more and more leg extension, sending energy back so that you can stretch out through your joints, create that space and opposition. Exhale, last 4, 3, 2, finish with 1 more here, and smoothly come down. Give yourself a child's pose. Just releasing your weight. When you're ready, unravel this time up onto all 4s. Stack your toes into the ground. Press on up, and right away walk your hands towards your feet. Little bend into the knees for your ragdoll. Any variation that feels good. Get your head heavy. Just imagine your spinal column decompressing. You're lengthening out. Take your hands to the floor, bend your knees so that your hips can lower. And as you ground through your heels, keeping your head heavy, you start to stretch through your thighs, unraveling, ribs over top of hips, shoulders rolling back. Reach your arms up, make space if you need, and take a full stretch out to your side. Take a full breath in, and exhale, open up to your chest. And guys, thank you so much for joining me for this class. I hope that you feel lengthened, invigorated, energized, also connected and centered. I look forward to hearing what you thought about this class. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this class, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet to Burn Pilates, join me weekly for classes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with choice that you can personalize for your individual practice. Have an awesome morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And guys, I'll see you at the next burn.